Hi, my name is Rajesh Valluri and welcome to my video. In my hand here is an old laptop, about 2 years old, which was quite pricey when I bought it and it stopped working suddenly. It wouldn't charge, and even with a new battery, the battery wouldn't charge, and I just can't power it up. I know I have been a little careless with this in terms of usage, but a $2,000 laptop is not supposed to die just like that. It's a very well-spec machine, about 16 gigs in memory and the high-end processor and everything. So I don't have the heart to just throw it away into recycling. But let's just go check it out and see if we can rescue it. So let's get started. Before we get started, here is a list of things we need. Obviously, I have my laptop here and the battery, and this is a multimeter to check continuity between components, and a soldering iron. I may or may not need this, and some screwdriver set, and here is a power cord that usually powers the laptop. So let's open up the laptop first and see. Be very careful when you take the cover, the back cover of your laptop, because you may end up breaking it, and which will cause more troubles down the line. So be very careful. You use a kind of a thin credit card kind of thing, or a guitar puck to yeah, pull the cover out after unscrewing all the screws. And yeah, so usually a laptop looks like this with various components, but this is specifically about how I rescued my laptop. So this is just for information. And also, every time you're dealing with electronics, be very careful, because it might kill you if you're careless. So let's get that out of the way. And yeah, so here is how my laptop, a Dell, I don't remember the model, looks like. And let's see what the issue is. As you can see, I have plugged in the power adapter and it is powering up. It is giving the necessary power. I just verified that with a different laptop by connecting it to a different laptop, and it was actually working. So we have ruled out anything to do with the power cord itself. So the next thing is to see if this little thing is carrying the power through to the board, where it is actually feeding it to the motherboard. So let's start with the continuity checkers. So at this point, I'm going to use my multimeter to check the continuity, and we should be expecting 19 volts DC between certain pins. Before we start our process of checking the motherboard, let's set the multimeter to 20 volts DC. As you can see, we're set to 20 volts DC. Let me get this in focus. I just want to emphasize the fact to be very careful again with electronics. We're only dealing with 20 volts DC, but that still packs quite a punch. So you should be extremely cautious when dealing with these. Now, if you can check, if you can see, so this is where the power cord, the power from the power supply, power cord enters through this little thing, this adapter to the motherboard. So if everything is working properly, the very first thing we should be checking is the voltage on these 5 little pins, connectors. When I checked the documentation and online, it said each of these should be at 20 volts DC, give or take. So I think it's 19 volts or something. And if all of these pins show that voltage, then we can move on to the next step. But let's start with that first. Right off the bat, we can see that there is no voltage between these two pins, and again, nothing here, and nothing here. Yeah, again, double checking. Yeah, there is 19 volts here. That's good. And then there should be 19 here again. Yeah, you can see that 19 there. and then on the last one there's nothing. So two of the four pins are not showing a voltage. So something is wrong with this connector because not enough power is being provided to the motherboard. So let's see what's wrong with this in more detail. Now I'm going to take this power cord off and see if there is anything that I can visually inspect and figure out. So if you see, obviously this is a bit loose, but if I pull this connector out and pull this out for visual inspection, and right off the bat you can see that this little thing, the very first connector, seems to be burned out. This actually is good news because this component is the cheapest in this laptop. And it also gives us an indication of how sometimes the weakest link in the chain can bring down the whole thing. The manufacturer themselves, they don't even go this far. They just chuck it and then they'll send you a replacement laptop, which is kind of sad because we don't want things, especially electronics, going into the landfill when there's still a lot of life left in them. That's my philosophy. That's why I spend all this time repairing electronics and gadgets instead of chucking them in the bin first chance I get. So let's see if I can find this component on the internet for a reasonable price, and then we'll come back to this. Turns out this component is in fact quite cheap. Even though if you buy it online from eBay or Amazon, they can be upwards of $25-30. But if you are patient and you don't need the component right away and you can wait a couple weeks, on AliExpress I got two of these for like less than $10. Again, $10. But let's see if they actually work. So these are the replacement connectors I got from AliExpress. Again, comparing with the old burned out one with the very clear um, burn marks here, and this is a new guy, which is kind of looking healthy for the lack of a better word. So I'm gonna plug this in and then put the power cord back in and see if it works. So once we have replaced the component and pack it and put the back cover back in, it's time to test if if the new component is working. Let's put the power back in, and moment of truth. Yeah, just press hard on it and it looks like it is. There you go, all good. There you go. We have fixed a $2,000 laptop by replacing a $5 component. It just goes to say if you are handy enough and if you have the time and patience to check these things out, usually most of these electronics can be salvaged and their lives extended. And thanks for watching my video. Hopefully this video will encourage you to fix your own electronics before, or at least giving them an extended life before they end up in the landfill. Thank you. Bye.